Didn't expect that one coming.
I want to put out food that makes her think, food that gets her interested.
It's going to be a nice mix of South African with Michelin star plating.
It's going to be about the single element on the plate.
Come on, show me what you got now. Take a chance, it'll be alright. I'm on my way, nothing's gonna stop me. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. 'Cause it's now or never, I'll never surrender. You knock me down, but I come back stronger. Like a fire burning strong, I know that I will carry on. 'Cause it's now or never, I'll never surrender. No, I'll never surrender.
Knowing that I'm in the top 5 is absolutely insane. It's surreal.
I'm full of life, I'm full of energy. I need to make this count.
I think when you're in the top 5, there's a lot of pressure on you already. I put extra pressure on myself because I don't want to fail.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Chef.
Welcome to another fabulous day in the Masterchef kitchen. For one of you, it's only a few challenges that stand between you and the title of South Africa's next Masterchef.
Leandri, Pruleith clearly sparked something in you. How has that helped you in your focus for the last stretch of the competition?
To be honest, my previous meal actually scared me a bit because it was really well received. So I think I'm actually putting a little more pressure on myself to put out good food, which could either be a really good thing or it could be a bad thing.
Harmony, tell me a little bit about that mindset, how you're going to take it right through to the end.
Right now, it's probably 49% complete fear and 51% excitement.
It doesn't surprise me that the people that are with me in the top 5 are the people that I chose to cook with and that are the 5 strongest competitors in this competition. I'm feeling a little bit more nervous than usual.
Today, you have the opportunity to let your creativity take flight. But we have a very unusual mystery box challenge for you because that pantry today will be your mystery box.
So today is a mystery box. Surprise! It's just a different sort of mystery box.
We had an open pantry and I was over the moon. I can't explain to you how happy I was.
You guys will have to create a lekker dish from everything you find in that pantry. If you know your ingredients well and you give them the proper respect, then you shouldn't really have a problem in coming up with a really special dish today. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the clock has been ticking since you walked into this kitchen.
The time has already started, as though walking in and getting the brief was cooking time or thinking time. It's insanity.
So I suggest that you run to your stations, grab your baskets, and into that pantry because you've got 52 minutes left in this challenge. So go, go, go.
Crazy people. Okay.
In the pantry are these beautiful fridges.
So I run to the black one and I look inside. What? Everything. Oh my word.
I think my heart sank.
There's nothing in there.
What? Okay.
Very sort of basic ingredients and not a huge quantity of each ingredient to work with.
Looks a little different than usual, doesn't it? Guys, I'm sure you've all had that experience at some point at the end of the month. You get to the fridge, there's not much in there. You got some tin pilchards, you got some olives, a little bit of gherkins, little leftovers of everything.
I was looking forward to working with maybe prawns or venison, maybe a rack of lamb.
There's a half box of cornflakes, some flour, a bag of sugar, a bag of pasta.
There are really random bits of ingredients in there.
Sardines, cheese, eggs, frozen peas, bacon.
Tomatoes, no onions, no garlic. What kind of people don't have onions and garlic?
Is this Masterchef? Like, this is a bit weird.
You have to conjure up a meal.
Is the type that you would make when you unexpectedly get friends or family coming over to your spot and you have to make them something special. So you'll have to knock our socks off with the dish that you're going to create in terms of texture, flavor, and taste. It does not necessarily have to be fine dining material, but it has to be super tasty.
Today, only 2 of you will be safe from the pressure test. The least 3 impressive dishes will find themselves in black aprons. For the winning dish today awaits a fabulous masterclass that will set you in good stead for the final stretch of the competition. Right, guys, make sure you've got what you need and let's get cracking. The clock is ticking.
I run and I just start getting things on the stove just to try and see where I'm going with this, because I have all these ingredients and I have a few ideas, but I really don't know. We don't have a lot of food going around in our house most of the time, so most of our dinners are get home, see what's in the fridge, try and make something from it. I think I'm going to make little fish cakes with the pea mash, so some crispy bread on the side, something like that.
I take my things back to my bench and I start unpacking. Like, what am I gonna do?
There have often been people that sort of waltz into my place blurry-eyed and you're sitting there with like mayonnaise and 2 eggs, and so you create something. I will be doing bruschetta with spicy fish mix and then quite a spicy bacon mac and cheese.
I grew up in boarding school and we always had to rustle up something and create something with the ingredients that we had. I remember growing up where a tin of tuna would cost 150. Those are the items we could get our hands on when we were in boarding school, and that's where our creative ideas came from. I'm doing a ciabatta, spicy ciabatta French toast with Portuguese rolled sardines, cabbage and green pea side, and a tuna fish cake.
I think when you're in the top 5, there's a lot of pressure on you already. I don't want to make food that I'm not proud of.
I think I know what I'm going to make. I have no idea if it's going to work, and I'm not so sure I should be risking anything at this point in the competition, so I'm a little nervous.
I am going to make a cannelloni bean paste, pretty much like hummus, but with a few different flavors, fresh chili, some lime.
I'm going to do some mushy peas, toasted shea butter, bacon. I'm still finding the rest of my elements, but that's the base so far. It's a really, really challenging task ahead, and it may appear as we can pull off something amazing, but it is really, really tough.
Guys, in that fridge, you know, not much really there. Pete, what would you make?
I'd take the pilchards and the beans and I make little spicy fish cakes, and I'd do like a little marinated cabbage salad. Maybe sweat off the bacon and the peas with like an acidic dressing, and then wilt the cabbage finely diced and let it wilt so it still remains a bit of crunch. Yeah. Andrew, what would you do?
I'd go dig through my car, find every bit of money that I've got left and buy takeaway. Because I'm not coming up with much for that. It's a hard challenge, guys. Yeah. It really is.
This stage of the game, their heads are around far more serious food and the Michelin stuff that we've done. And
it's realistic. I mean, a lot of people face this kind of pantry every day in their life, but then they make wonderful dishes from it. I'm wondering what these guys are going to be doing, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good challenge.
Cool. "30 minutes remain for you to show us your creativity. Remember, we're looking for taste, textures, and wonderful flavors."
If it's the end of the month in my house, I don't mind eating 2-minute noodles or raw pasta, but this is MasterChef, and I am absolutely uninspired. I don't know what I'm gonna do. the end of the month in my house, I don't mind eating 2-minute noodles or raw pasta, but this is Masterchef, and I am absolutely uninspired. I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm trying to somehow muster out a dish. So what I've decided to make is like an inside-out type of sandwich.
Right, Celine, what have you got on the go?
Hi, Chef. I'm going to make a wrapped sandwich, if that makes sense. So a little bit upside down, kind of a vibe going on.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
I'm going to take the bread, put the toppings on the one side,
Yes.
wrap it in bacon and fry it off.
Ah, okay, that sounds tasty. What's the topping going to be?
I've made a cannelloni bean paste, a little like hummus. I'm making a roast tomato sauce, vinaigrette more like it, to go around with a poached egg.
I see you've got some spiced cheese, some olives and some chopped
Yes,
chili
chef.
here. Where's that going to feature in?
This is going to be part of the filling for the sandwich, Chef.
Okay. You don't sound overly enthused about this challenge.
I'm actually in a very strange type of a twilight zone.
Have you never had to do this before, make do with what you have in the pan?
Of course, I do, but not MasterChef material. Like normally it's, I eat dry macaroni out of the packet.
Yes.
I don't think I can serve you that. So, you see?
But you also don't want to go into another pressure test.
No, Chef.
Okay. Well, let's
Managed to miss them all since number 2.
let's try and keep it that way.
Yes, Chef.
Off you go.
Yes, Chef.
I think that seeing all of those ingredients and knowing that we're only 5 left and there is nowhere to hide, I just freaked out.
Leandri,
Chef,
what have you got on the go?
some bacon crisping up in the pan, fish meatballs, which are going to be eventually cooked in the tomato sauce.
Tell me what you put in those fish meatballs.
I have tuna and some pilchards and parsley, some paprika, cannelloni beans.
Who do you normally cook for at home?
I cook for Celine, my little sister, my dad if he's around, and we often have my older sister and her husband come over as well.
I want to see that person that was inspired by Prue-Lee.
She's coming out.
Right, come on, you haven't got much time, so you need to bring her out very quickly.
Yep.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Carmony,
Chef,
great challenge, yeah?
that's debatable.
So what are you making?
I am making mac and cheese with some bacon and peas. I'm also gonna do a bruschetta with a little bit of spicy tuna on the top.
Yeah.
Maybe like a tuna melt vibe, because you know you need extra cheese.
Okay, paint us the picture. Who's at your place and why the choice of the dish that you made?
My friends we move around in this brother-sister team. So we've got a brother-sister team from each family,
Yeah.
and those are the people we hang out with in Durban. We destroy each other's parents' homes, and this is the kind of food that I'd be cooking for them.
Okay, crack on. Don't have a lot of time, and I'm looking forward to tasting your snack.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool.
Okay, Jason, tell us about your late night post-clubbing creation. What have you got going?
Definitely a lot of bacon. I think, you know, the fattiness of the bacon always helps with reducing the hangover. Some mashy peas, some toasted shea butter, and then I'm just working on the next element. I think maybe it's another veg in there.
And don't forget, we want a hearty, tasty dish, not some fiddled with plates. Yeah?
For sure, yeah, definitely, Chef.
Good man.
Thank you. Halfway through, I start with my sauce, just with the basic roux, and you know, put my vegetable stock in, and then some cheese, and I'm, you know, just cooking that off. It's starting to come together now.
Ozzy, now you were in boarding school, Ozzy. Did you guys used to have those little elements that you cooked food with?
Yes, we actually boiled eggs in the kettle.
All right, so tell me about these little tuna cakes that you're making.
I put in some cumin, coriander, a de-seeded red chili, and an egg and some ciabatta toast to bind it.
Tell me more about this Indian French toast.
I've got some egg and milk.
Right.
And then I've just added the spices, coriander, cumin, some garlic, parsley, paprika. I'm going to dip it in here, fry it in some oil on either side.
All right, Ozzy, you're clearly enjoying this one. Remember, we're looking for taste, we're looking for textures. It's got to have it all. It's got to have that compound to it. Not hostile food here, Ozzy.
Yes.
Good food, right?
Yes, chef.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Contestants, there are only 10 more minutes remaining. Remember, you're creating a dish for those unexpected guests in this mystery box challenge. Get all those tastes and flavors and textures onto that plate.
My meatball sauce is cooked. Yeah, I just need to quickly finish off the tapenade and then I'll feel much better.
I think my concern with this is that if I take one of these elements off, I don't know if the others are going to stand on its own. Even though the mac and cheese is pretty good, it just seems like mac and cheese on Masterchef. I think my concern with this is that if I take one of these elements off, I don't know if the others are going to stand on its own. Even though the mac and cheese is pretty good, it just seems like mac and cheese on Masterchef.
Guys, I've been watching Carmini. She's got the bruschetta done with the spicy tuna and pea, and then she's also got the mac and cheese with the crispy fried bacon and some peas. But now, she's not sure whether she's going to serve both of them or just one of them. And she's waiting for the last couple of minutes to make that decision.
Look, you should serve them both together. What we want is inventiveness given the ingredients they've got. This is not about whether there's a thread throughout their dish. If they can make 2 or 3 elements that are tasty elements,
Exactly.
We're talking about people arriving unannounced to your house and feeding them. So if you've got a couple of elements on your plate and they don't all connect, it's not the end of the world, provided they're all tasty and hit the taste, the texture. It doesn't matter if the 2 elements don't mix. You should put them both on the plate and have done with it.
Pete, you went in with Celine, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, I saw she was putting with that bacon that she's doing. She's got a lot of different flavours in there. She's got vanilla extract, maple syrup. She's got mustard in there. She's got olive oil. And she keeps on adding bean puree. She keeps on adding flavours to it. I'm not too sure those flavours are all going to come together. So you still got to get that flavour in there. You can't just put every flavour you've got there just because you've got it.
You're right. She wasn't sure what it was that she was making. Oz. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's made some spicy fish cakes that he's made with the tuna. He's got some cabbage and peas on the go. He's frying off some little spicy sardines. He knew exactly what he was going to do. It's looking very, very tasty, his dish.
Leandra at the back, she did little fish cakes. She's now put it into a little cutter, a little mould, and put the egg on top. She's put the peas in there, so she's really made quite a nice composition dish that'll really work well together, I think.
Jason just seems to be making this monster over-the-top sandwich. He's got pea puree, he's got bacon, grilled tomato. I think he's just doing this giant Dagwood. So we'll see how it turns out. Guys, you only have 5 minutes left of our month-end Make It Up As You Go Along challenge. But is this the month that has the 13th check? Or is this the end of your 30-day notice period? Only time will tell.
I'm just finishing up my cooking process of all my elements. I've got my tuna cakes, my Indian-style French toast. Just frying the last 2 off. I'm scared that the judges might find the ciabatta bread is drenched a lot of oil. It always could be the possibility because ciabatta has a lot of holes in it.
Just got to finish the last few elements, get the sauce on the jugs, and yeah, everything seems to have come together.
I'm busy actually making the whole thing now. I've been prepping all this time, so there's quite a lot to do in the last dying moments. My bacon is done, all my accompaniments are done. I'm just trying to make my vinaigrette.
Trying to decide whether to plate my sauce or not, because I'm not really a fan of it, but I think its tanginess will cut through the fatty bacon.
I've tasted this and they're both good on their own. I don't know if you'd necessarily eat cheesy bacon bits with tuna. I don't know if they go together. It's not really one dish. I have a take 2 and decide I'm going to take the tuna and toast stuff off. Okay, let's do this. But then it's just mac and cheese, which is good enough for my friends, but I don't know if that's good enough for the judges.
I'm just finishing off my last element that I've come up with. I've decided to do a cornflake crumble, and at 4 in the morning, you know, it's closer to breakfast time than it is to dinner time.
30 seconds remain. Make sure you got everything on that plate.
That mystery box month-end challenge is coming to an end in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. It's all over. Stop cooking.
Well done, guys.
Put in a variety of textures and flavors, and just, you know, I hope that all comes through today, and the judges can appreciate the sentiment behind the dish.
Everyone else has plated a few other elements besides just one.
I'm about to go in for a tasting, and honestly, I'm ready to apologize.
Leandri, let's see your end of the month creation.
Today was actually really quite fun because it was a real reflection of what my food life is really like.
Right, Leandri, it's the end of the month. You had a few ingredients left in that fridge and in the pantry. What did you create?
I have made a fish pie of sorts with ciabatta and olive tapenade with some mushy peas.
Well, tell us about your fish cake.
I made the base with tuna, pilchards, some mustard, some gherkins, some parsley, and some garlic. And then I put it in the oven with some cheese on top, and then I finished it off with an egg a few minutes before serving.
Only 2 people are going to be safe today. Is that dish going to save you?
I sure hope so.
Let's find out. You're clearly still inspired from Prulith because you hit it spot on. Flavors and textures are there. And I think you've done a great end of the month dish. Well done, Leandri.
Thank you, Chef.
Well, if I was at home and I was presented with this is how I would have it, like that. Basic ingredients transformed into a tasty and flavorful dish. Thank you, Leandri.
Thank you, Chef.
What I liked about this challenge was a true test of whether or not you could think on your feet. This was probably the most left field dish we've thrown you the entire competition. This is a great dish. There's textures, there's flavors, there's balance. It's well thought out. I'd eat this any day of the week. Very cool.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm actually quite pleased and I feel confident about my dish now.
Right. Let's taste some month-end madness. Jason. What have you done, Jason?
Chef, I've prepared a clubbing 4 a.m. style open sandwich, grilled bacon and tomato, mushy peas with lime, toasted chia butter, paprika cornflake crumble, and a cheese sauce.
With top 5, 3 of you going into a pressure test, are you confident that's going to keep you alive?
You know, there's flavor there, there's texture. I just hope it works together.
Okay. Give it a taste, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Something like that?
Something like that, Chef.
Okay. It's certainly tasty, but I find that the cheese sauce could have cooked out a little bit more, tasted a little bit on the floury side. And in all honesty, the only real skill on the plate is your mushy peas. That took some doing and quenelling and that kind of stuff. More thought that gone into this. It's tasty, but that's just because you've got nice ingredients.
Certainly got high-end friends that would be presented with a dish like this at 4 a.m. in the morning. Would you present it the same way?
I'd like to try and get it, you know, a little bit of presentation. You know, it's always what I pride myself on, so.
Well, let's taste and see.
You asked for tasty. It is tasty. Bacon, however, I could have put it more in the pan just to crisp it up a bit. Get more flavor of the bacon coming out there. Seasoning, maybe a bit of heat. I don't see why you needed to put the cornflakes in, because you already got that crunch in the bread, and I don't taste any of that paprika that you put in there. Is it enough to keep you out of the bottom three?
Thank you, Chef. I created a mediocre dish today, and you know, at this stage of the game, top 5 mediocrity it's not gonna cut it.
Carmini, bring us your month-end creation. Carmini, firstly, how was this challenge for you?
Chef, this challenge was difficult. So I made 2 elements and then decided that they didn't really go together. It was the macaroni with the peas and the bacon, as well as bruschetta with some spicy tuna.
And why not serve them together?
Bacon and tuna?
Yeah, nothing wrong with bacon and tuna.
I don't know, that gives me the heebies.
Any day of the week.
Look, instead what I've plated is the mac and cheese with the bacon and the peas. There's a bit of cornflake crust on the side with a bit of cayenne and Tabasco.
The fact you had 15 minutes before we finished and you were ready, you then started second-guessing yourself and not having the confidence to serve what you'd made.
I know.
Well, let's taste. Mac and cheese with crispy bacon and peas. The macaroni was cooked to perfection. Bacon as crispy as it's supposed to be, and the sweetness that you get from the peas bring this dish alive. But the sauce, for me, is a bit too heavy. But is it too simple?
Carmini, a good mac and cheese. The bacon through it, it's got a lot more sauce than what you've presented there. It's got a lot more flavour to it. You had all the ingredients in that month-end pantry to make a superb mac and cheese. Didn't come together today. That's not a great mac and cheese.
That was intense. I haven't felt that level of indecision since, I don't know, the breakfast challenge many moons ago.
Celine, let's be having ya.
I'm walking my plate to the judges, and I have this overwhelming feeling of dread.
So,
Yes.
what have you done?
I've made pretty much like an open sandwich wrapped in bacon, poached egg, and a tomato sauce.
What is on your sandwich?
I spiced some of the cheese. I made a paste out of the cannelloni beans with some lime juice, salt, pepper, some crushed garlic from Robertson's, some spices.
Okay. When I spoke to you at the beginning of the challenge, you weren't quite sure where you were going.
This thing threw me like 180 degrees. I went blank.
Yeah.
That's not top 5 stuff. Thinking about it now, I would have made like a tomato consomme with a wrapped cabbage parcel with like my version of like maybe a tuna risotto with the rice that's in the pantry. Yeah, that doesn't count for anything. That is a mess up.
Well, this is part of the challenge, and this is why we did this challenge, because it's out of kilter. It's exactly what it is. It throws you off guard completely, and that's the test, is to see how your brain unscrambles and within 45 minutes comes up with something edible and presentable.
I'm not so sure that happened.
Yeah, I think I may agree with you there.
The poached egg, how did you do that?
I just poached the egg like usual, but I threw peas in there because I love peas with eggs, which is weird, but I really like it.
Well, let's have a taste, shall we? This dish for me is completely nonsensical. It just, nothing makes sense. I've got funny sharp tomato dressing. I got very, very sweet vanilla flavored bacon. And none of it works together. None of it should even be within 100 miles of each other from the post product. It really is bad.
You can clearly taste the confusion on this plate with all the elements that I put in there. Vanilla, bacon, the syrup, they don't really work together. But I guess it's the nature of the competition and the challenges that we throw at you guys to see whether you can stand the test of time. I said in the briefing when we started this challenge that if you know your ingredients and give them enough respect, then you shouldn't really have a problem in coming up with a spectacular dish. I can see that the nerves got to you, but there are also positives on this dish. I like the idea of the poached egg with the peas, but what I would have done with it is put it on top. It's a brilliant idea. I've never seen it used like this, but it also showed your state of mind today. The best element on the dish for me, you hit it with your toast and your bacon.
Yes.
Top 5. And I know you can do better than this. You've done great dishes before.
Yes, chef.
Selena, it's evident you weren't in touch with the challenge today. You didn't seem to be in that place where you needed to be to create a great plate of food. And that comes through. There's a lot of different flavors happening there and it's just not working all together.
I should not be putting out food like that, not in the top 5, not even at home. It's ridiculous. I was so thrown today. And I shouldn't have been. I should have just... Yeah, this is not me.
Okay? What you've got to do is you've got to recollect your thoughts. You've got to get in touch with what's happening. You've got to come to the next challenge and you've got to give it your all.
Yes, chef.
You don't throw it away at this stage, not in the top 5.
Yes, chef.
Hopefully you can redeem yourself. You need to put every ounce of your fight back into it.
Yes, chef.
Maybe it's because I ended up caring more than I thought I would. It's about 50% embarrassment, 25% frustration, and 25% release of everything that I feel throughout this whole competition coming out in one day.
Mystery Box Month-End Madness. Ozzy, your turn. So Ozzy, that style of presentation that you've done, is that the style that you're going to use for at home on month-end preparations, limited stock in the pantry?
It's a bit over the top for me, the presentation, but I felt that I need to go all out with every challenge, and I need to produce my best food.
Have you hit it with that taste today?
I certainly hope so, Chef. The dish I prepared today took me straight back to my childhood memories of being in boarding school, and that's where my first food experience began, in boarding school. And it's not much, but it's very close to the ingredients you have in month end, so.
Well, I've been in boarding school myself, and I know what the food's like. So I take my hat off to you that you actually wouldn't go down to that canteen and you stayed up and cooked in your kettle. So it clearly shows your fascination with food.
Thank you, Chef.
Crumbed with the cornflakes?
Yes, Chef.
I think with the ingredients that you had on hand, you've used most of them on this plate. I like the fish cake. It's got a nice crunch to it. I like that mouthfeel, that texture in my mouth. That French toast is nice and spicy. There's a great little crispness on those sardines. And the sauce and the cabbage, the braised cabbage with the peas, it's very delightful when you put it all together.
Ozzy. Ozzy, I'll tell you this is a delicious tasting plate. The French toast, the spicy French toast, it's nice and moist. All of those spices are coming through. The crunchiness in the fish cake, the braised cabbage with the peas, the sweetness that come out of there. The fish taste is still there, it's not burnt, it's not dry. Your sauce, very inventive with all of the sauces that you've added in, but they all come together. Good use of the ingredients that you had, and MasterChef top 5. You know, we need you to up your game and present that plate of food that represents the position that you're in now, and I think you did a good job.
Thank you, Chef.
Good done.
Thank you.
Ozzy, good execution of today's challenge. Well done, thank you.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you, Ozzy. Guys, we've got a lot to think about. We're going to go and deliberate, and then we'll see you later.
It's just 5 of us. It feels naked to be standing up there in front of the judges and just so vulnerable.
In today's Mystery Box Challenge, you didn't have the abundant MasterChef pantry that you've come to know.
It wasn't an easy challenge. Some of you lost it because of the nerves, but at the end of the day, you produced dishes. The question now is, who is in the bottom 3, and which are the 2 dishes that impressed us that it will be safe for the next challenge?
The idea today was to throw you off course, but also to think on your feet like chefs. Have to be inventive. You have to look at what you've got in front of you and the time given to you. You have to make something tasty. Whether we give you prawns, foie gras, fillet, or tin tuna. With only 5 people left, there is no place to hide. Only the best will do from now on.
I'm definitely going to come every single day with my A game and be prepared to tackle almost anything.
The 3 people going into the next pressure test are Celine.
I'm not surprised at all. I shouldn't be surprised. If I was surprised, then you guys should send me off to a psych ward.
Carmony.
Mac and cheese is not going to cut it.
And Jason.
If I get too confident with the dish and the feedback's terrible, I think that tends to hit me quite hard.
When we return to the Masterchef kitchen, the three of you will be cooking the most important meal of your lives. Because when we're done with the pressure test, one of you will be going home.
I see pressure tests as another chance to cook in the Masterchef kitchen. And if it's my last time, I'll be disappointed, but I'll go out fighting.
We had two dishes that impressed us today. That was Ozzy and Leandri. The winner of today's Mystery Box Challenge is Ozzy. Great dish.
Thank you, Chef. I enjoyed today's challenge because I could be inventive and I could do something out of the ordinary with very simple ingredients.
Ozzy, you're going to travel in the VW Golf 7 to visit a very special group of people who make it their life's mission to protect our marine life and to promote sustainable fishery. You will spend the day with the Dyer Island Conservation Trust to learn more about sustainable seafood and the importance of protecting our food resources. They will treat you to a masterclass in cooking one of our most sustainable fish species in our oceans. Enjoy that masterclass, Ozzy.
Thank you, Chef. Most awesome prize ever.
You know, when it got announced what his masterclass was going to be, I was green with jealous rage. So, yeah.
Carmony, Jason, and Celine, we will see you in the pressure test. Go home, rest, and be ready for tomorrow.
I just won my first master class. I had to go fishing. You don't understand.
At this stage, I don't feel nervous. I want to get into the kitchen and do it.
I'm in it to win it. I'm not going to squander that all on a few emotions and getting frustrated with myself. Like, I'm here to be the best.
There's a shot for you.
And again. Then today my lifelong dream comes true.
My jaw hit the ground. It was something that I haven't done before.
It just feels like I'm going home today.